We on a situation.
Nah, Rob, move over a little. Come sit right there.
Nobody respects your body.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Jiggy. I'm back with another video. And to the left,
You got Prince Coach Williams. What's good, y'all?
And to the right,
You got your boy Roddy right here.
Alright, man. So for today's video, we're going to talk about, as you all know, Nipsey passed away.
Nipsey Hussle.
A brutal murder this past week. And we're just going to do a video on discussing what his life meant to the black community and also more detail on what the average black man goes through and things of that nature. So for the first subject, we could talk about Nipsey's impact on not just hip hop, but like to all of us as individuals and how we function within black society and what young black men go through every day.
I would just say,
like, what did Nipsey mean to you individually?
Alright, so me specifically, I mean, me and him, I feel like we got a lot in common. Like, growing as a young black man, like just growing up in a systematic government that, you know, the goal of the government is to, oppress the people. You know what I mean? We are the people. So, you know, dealing with the average thing like gang violence and, you know, ghettos, neighborhoods, and you know, the self-hatred that people have, you know, for their own kind, in result of the oppression of the government. So I feel like Nipsey Hussle really spoke about that, and he changed my life because it was the way he took the things about his life that wasn't so pretty, wasn't so glorious, and how he turned it into a master plan to reach out to other people and, you know, help change their opinion on life itself. Like, you know what I mean? Especially on how to use your finances and how to work ethic. I think big on work ethic. Like,
yeah.
It's just, you know, it's a lot. But I would say, me personally, Nipsey Hussle, he taught me how to be a man, how to stand up and you know, not be a follower and work hard for your living. Like, you know, create value within your life. And yeah, so it's unfortunate to hear such a tragic death at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Especially because he was one of the rare people talking about the things that he was talking about, coming from the neighborhood that he was coming from. So yeah, it sucks. But yeah.
In my eyes, Nipsey, like, I feel like he's like the epitome of what it means to break down the culture. Like, nowadays the culture is really like self-hate, black on black crime, this, that, and the third. But he made it public. Like, he was a trailblazer to turn our culture into love and peace. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I feel like Nipsey himself, like, he was on a different level. Like, he was on a different mental. Like, he superseded what everybody, you know, like, felt. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a man before his time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Nipsey, if he was still alive today, bro, like, there's so many things that people are now realizing. Yeah. That if he was still here, bro, and it was publicized like how it's publicized now,
it would have been a much bigger movement.
Yeah, and one thing I know is one person that was doing conducting like a reflection on his life. They were saying like, oh, because some people were saying like, oh, at least he got to live to 30, and the one person got mad. Like, first of all, 10 years ago he was a different person. Imagine him at 50.
Exactly.
You should never cap someone's potential. You don't know what they could have done, because the path he was on, man, was definitely revolutionary in my mind. And as for me as an individual, the funny part is that I was more interested, like, before, like, he passed away, I'm not gonna lie, I did not listen to Nipsey at all, but I listened to him as far as like interviews, as far as like investment, because he was one before even Bitcoin became popular. He was already on that wave, aware of what's going on. And I was always drawn to him in that aspect of how he conducts himself. If you even just look at his jewelry, like, he wears solid gold. If you're a real investor or you like into jewelry, you know that solid gold is the only thing that holds money. If you get diamonds, it decreases, depreciates. Yeah, but solid gold always holds like its value. And he always with those 5 same gold links, and I always respected that about him. He wasn't like, he had nice stuff, but that you could tell that was not what his life was built off of. Not just the luxury, materialistic thing. Like, he was someone built on morals, rules, like the certain aspects that a man should have. You know, it wasn't just all about hoes and whatever. He's one of those dudes like even though he has the money, he doesn't have to behave in a corny mannerism. So that's what I always respected about him.
Yeah,
and that's the impact he had on my life. Yeah.
Also, like leading back to culture, like I feel like he was setting the tone for black ownership. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
I see the posts now circulating like crazy, but certain people already knew that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certain people who now people are fake woke or they think they woke now because they know Dr. Sebi and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Do your research.
Yeah, it should not take a person to die for y'all to like want to see that in your own heart. You know what I'm saying?
I hate that,
but the thing, that's why it's like, you know, although it's very unfortunate for the death of Nipsey Hussle, you know, it's like everything has a meaning to it, even including a death like this.
Of course,
you know, you can't like. My big thing was instead of mourning, because I'm a long-time fan of Nipsey Hussle. Like I've been listening to Nipsey Hussle since I was 15, 16 years old. So it's like even for a long-time fan, like I would rather, you know, use like allow his death to teach me some lessons instead of sitting around mourning over the loss of this public figure who inspired me a lot. I think that so like. Even though it's like, I feel like we shouldn't wait to a death like this to happen for us to be woke, whatever the case is. But at the same time, everything that happens needs to happen for a reason, and there needs to be a purpose, and there needs to be some impact behind this nonsense that's going on. So I really hope that this death is not just 1 week trending thing, and then people go back to living doing the nonsense. I really hope, you know, people listen to Nipsey Hussle and the things that he said, because it was a lot about creating value in yourself and sharing value with others, and you know, being a solid character. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to him. Big ups to him.
And then to lead into the next segue, what does his death mean for the black community? Because we spoke on what his death means for us as individuals, but what do you think it means for the entire black community?
Okay, you can go.
Honestly, bro, like. Who's got Kim? Eric Holder? Yeah, like, bro, it's so weak-minded. It's like, it spreads the word, like, what the stigma is or the stereotypes that black hate each other. They stopping themselves from evolving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it hurts us even more because Nipsey was a big, like, you feel me? He was like a stepping stone to where we could be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it hurts, bro. Like, I never found myself like hurting over somebody that I never met in person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm such a follower of what he spoke of and his music and his investments. You know what I'm saying? And his movements. Bro, Nipsey was a calm dude, bro. He was a calm dude, chilling. For me, laid back and like it hurts a person. You feel me, on a different level, like.
Yeah, I think right now for the black community, what's most important is that we are aware of the multiple obstacles that we have in life, you know, and like if you look at the situation, you know, he was a man of respect and a man of honor, and he lived for something, he stood for something, and it so happened to be the same thing that killed him, you know. So that I think that should be a big eye opener to the black community, that, you know, the streets don't love us, you know, and that, you know, we could do as much as we the goal should always be to do as much as possible for the community. At the same time, being aware of your surroundings and the people that you associate yourself with. You know what I'm saying? I think to black culture right now, we all shell shocked. Because it's just so obvious that the best of, you know, it's like the best of our kind, the people with the most potential and the people that everybody should be looking up to are the ones that are dying young and the ones that are being assassinated, whether it's by their own kind or by the government. Regardless of the fact, it's happening, and there's no reason for it to be happening.
Yeah, it's like when Nipsey died, when people die, the world still goes on. But Nipsey's death, I feel like the world just momentarily, definitely paused. Because he passed away Sunday. It's only, what's today? Friday, Saturday?
Friday.
It felt like it's been 2 weeks. Like, it's not sinking in. Like, it's crazy, yo.
100%.
It's like everybody knew him personally. I think it's because for the back of me, he wasn't someone like arrogant. Like, he wasn't on Instagram showing off his jewelry every day. Like, there was a difference. You know what I'm saying?
And even with the Lauren London situation, like he you know, he put you know, he turned his house into a glass house when it came to his love with her.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So
and that's
like,
a lost art with black men.
and that's a lost art. Yeah, that's a lost art.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you know, a lot of us are, you know, we all grow up in a hardened environment, so it's like we gotta be hard all the time.
Aggressive all the time.
You gotta be aggressive. You gotta be masculine. Otherwise, people are gonna question
your masculinity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we got to. It's like we feel for her because we were like in the relationship in a sense because you know we seen what's going on and it was publicized, and for him to be a stand-up type of dude, like, you feel me? It's a lot of stand-up types of dude, but everybody makes their slip-ups. But for Nipsey, no. You ever heard Nipsey slip up with Lauren London?
No.
You feel me?
No drama at all.
Straight thorough.
It showed us it was cool to love. It showed us it was cool to have
some
one
of his
woman.
songs, like, he showed that.
Mad
He
music videos
he
of
got
her,
that. He got that one shorty that he gonna hold it down. You know, and you look at their pictures, and it's like, yo, you know, he's riding for her. Like, you know. He's riding for her, and you know the same, the life, you know, everything is vice versa, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I know, like, I don't follow their relationship too much, but I know he called her Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a nickname for her. Like, if you watching the interviews, like, and they will ask about, oh yeah, someone in London, he was like, oh, Boogie straight, like, like, you call her Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he cool with it, like,
he's comfortable with the nickname. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're not trying to be extra tough.
That's something that you see,
cool.
and especially for him coming from where he come from, his neighborhood, and everything that he's seen, and his homeboys dying. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? So he was real for that.
Leading back to the culture, like, I feel like it makes it harder for a black man to reach a certain type of level and come back and give back to the hood or visit the hood because there's something like that. Yeah, like, you feel me?
Exactly.
A lot of people want to flee. Exactly.
People want to flee,
and never come back. You know
and then we call them sellouts, but like, if you see what's going on,
it's like even the thing with Meek Mill, like Mill be saying it, like in the song 100 Summers, he was saying it, like
that's on
when I play
all day.
I play the red view when I come in the parking lot. Like, you gotta watch your mirrors, you gotta watch behind you because you know we are accustomed to hating on our own kind, and it's so sad. But this is the reality, and hopefully it's just more of an eye opener. Like,
yeah, Nipsey's death was demoralizing to the black community. I felt like exhausted. It's like, damn, he the one dude we know that did everything perfectly.
Right,
and
exactly.
This is the outcome.
Exactly.
Nah, man.
It wasn't even like he did it perfectly, but I would say it's just the way he came, with how he was brought up. Like, he was born. You know, it's almost perfect because he was born and raised in such imperfection, and he's a product of such imperfection. For him to come up and be this stand-up dude, you know what I'm saying? That's the most honorable thing about him. You know what I'm saying? Because he come from savagery. You feel me? You listen to most of his old songs, you could tell, and I noticed this after his death. I'm in denial, and then I'm listening to his music, and it's like, if you listen to the lyrics and his words, it's like he accepted death a very long time ago. Being from where he was coming from, he accepted death a very long time ago. So for him to still be this genuine, solid, respectable, prolific type of dude, that's honorable. You know what I'm saying? So I hope he inspired the black community and the black culture as much as he inspired me. You know, for real.
Definitely, because the first few days, I was like, yo, what's the point? Of course, I wasn't going to give up on anything yet. But those first 2 days, first 48, I was like, yo, what's the point anymore?
Because it's like,
why we got to live so paranoid? Like, this is so sad, yo. And he went out on his own turn. Like, he was only there without security because he was helping out a friend that just got out of jail, getting him clothes and stuff.
Exactly.
And that's like, you go out helping someone, like, you don't even go out on your own terms. That's what really hurt me. Like, damn, like, no matter what you do, it's like, you could be paranoid, you can have security, you can play everything right, you could give back to community. It's like, it's almost like, it feels like you can't win. That's what it feels like.
Especially coming from a perspective of a young man, like, we are also product of the same thing he's a product of, and we're trying to do something positive with our lives and the people that are in our lives and are involved with us, and to look at, like, how such a good person and how such a genuine person could be, this could happen to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dad, like, even the good men go out, you know, almost sad in a sense.
You know what's the funny part? A lot of people saying, like, why he wasn't moving with security. I think Dave East said it best. He was like, This man owned the entire lot. You feel me? This was his home. He did so many things for people on that lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why does he gotta move with security? This is his home. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
shouldn't have to be on
move like that.
time.
Yeah.
I forgot who said. I think it was Sue Surf, but he said like when you put a diamond collar on one dog with a yard full of pit bulls, the dog wearing the collar doesn't see that. So that's to say, like,
I feel you.
When you're from a certain place, you don't view yourself as a celebrity or something like that. You don't see yourself and how other people see you. Other people see you, they see money, they see jewelry.
He like, I'm in the hood.
He's comfortable. Like it's crazy. He told I seen the documentary how he started the whole store and everything. When he was gang banging, he said he survived shootouts, like getting jumped, and like that. The one, like, you're not in any of that anymore, and you still die in your blind, but you die in a completely different aspect of it, and that's crazy to me. Like, he bought all the stores, people are renting him. It's just weird. Like, I didn't want to accept his death at all those first 2 days. It was like, this is crazy, man.
It was beastie, bro.
This is crazy. And leading into the next segue, let's discuss the hood mindset, because I feel this is a mindset that really got to be stopped.
What you mean, like paranoia? Like, what you mean?
Hood
Everything.
Mindset, like, I think, what it is I learned to be completely non-judgmental, as non-judgmental as possible, because what I realized is that, in our first few years of life, we are in absolutely no control of what we're
able to obtain.
Yeah, like we have no control of our environment. No control of where we eat, sleep. Our family members, who we know. Yeah. No, you know what I mean? So it's like, I see a lot of people that are a real product of the hood. It's either you make it out or you don't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People, it's like, people see so much foul shit, people see so much negativity, and it gets to a point where this is all they know. You know what I mean? That's their problem and the solution. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try not to be judgmental, but it's all out of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You only do what you know.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know how to be the bigger man and walk away, and you have not seen that all your life, then that's not something that's not no way you're gonna react, because you're not accustomed to that type of action. You know what I'm saying? Then that's what the hood mentality is. It's being on the hood, and you that little kid, and you 7 years old, and you looking out your window, and you see niggas on the block, and they selling whatever they selling, and you see crackheads walking around acting crazy, and you see people fighting over here, and it's nighttime and people shooting right outside your window, and then you get old enough and you come outside, and it's like, it's either eat or starve. You know what I'm saying? This is your neighborhood. You can't be you can't be the little boy out in the house no more. You gotta come outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I say some people either make it out or they don't. You know what I mean? And you become a product, and that's where you either end up murdered or jailed. You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy. Now, the other day I was in the gym, and I heard some dude was like, "Oh, he's a gangster." Like, you feel me? It's the circle of life. But like, I learned in school, like, if you have no resources, there's no way you can ever create capabilities for yourself. Like Prince was saying, if he was seeing, gang banging and killing and selling drugs, and that's the only way you see how you can make it out, and then change the type of man that you are, which is what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the type of dude, like, he used what was given to him, his own deck of cards, like he said before, to create an outlet or a positive outcome for himself and his family. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And like, he really stood for a lot. And if you see him as just a hood nigga, you know what I'm saying, or a bad man or gang banger, this and the third, then you're not open minded at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, I feel like one thing about the situation though that I feel is it has a slight irony to it, but it's not comical at all. It's like, I'm pretty sure Nipsey growing up in the neighborhood that he grew up in and being gang affiliated in the era that he was, you know, living in South Central Los Angeles, that was rough times. So I'm sure that he had to do things that
he didn't want
that
to.
was not honorable. That if
Exactly.
we knew everything that he did,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying, people would have a slightly different perspective. But you know, and that just goes to show you, like, to dudes that think it's cool, you know, to walk around with weapons and shoot at people and do illegal activity and glorify it.
Yeah.
You live by the gun, you die by the gun. You know, as great of a man Nipsey Hussle was, you know, I feel like he definitely redeemed himself on earth before he got the opportunity to get to heaven. But I feel like there may be some things that he might have done that, you know, that he was, that, you know, he could have handled better, and somebody else's family probably, you know, rep the, you know, somebody else's family had to deal with the decision that he made.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, I feel like you gotta understand that, you live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. You know, the streets don't love anybody, and you know, sometimes your karma waits to catch up to you. So.
It just sucks that it was self-hate though. It wasn't like he was in a shootout. It wasn't like he about to go. It's not like he's still in the game.
He didn't even face the person when he shot him.
Like, it wasn't no shit like that, bro. It was on some...
it definitely went outside like that. Like I have no words for the man that, you know, took the life of Nipsey Hussle.
Or something petty too, nothing deep. Like,
but that's what it's always something.
Yeah,
small.
that's true. In the hood, it's always something petty.
It's always something small. It's never a big
something
deal.
petty over a female. It's never something.
Somebody feel like they don't got nothing to lose. Then they gonna lose it all over something so small. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you got something to move. You got a family that you value. You got people that care about you. You got your car. You got your, you know, your business that you're running, and you got your plans and your goals. Somebody else's life is not valuable enough to you for you to throw everything that you have planned. But if somebody else, they feel like, you know what I'm saying, they don't care. And I know how it feels to not care about your future. You do anything. When you don't care about your future, you don't have nothing to look forward to, you don't know, you don't plan for tomorrow, then you gonna do whatever today is, you know what I'm saying? You just gonna think in that moment. And I think that's what that man was doing, and, you know, the rest is history. So,
yeah, unfortunately. And let's move on to the two-front war that black men face between cops killing us, our own kind killing us. Even if you're not involved in the streets, I've seen many kids go out just with stray bullets, doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we? Well, where do we even start with that? Cause like when Nipsey died, I was like, damn, this is what white people be talking about when they say like, oh, can you complain about the cop when they all kill each other? Like if someone comes up to you with a response, I just graduated undergrad, so like we would have these conversations in class, and like the white kid that grows up in the suburbs cannot relate to nothing, and they see like, how can you complain about the cops when y'all kill each other? And when they see stuff like this, like what do you expect? You can't even blame them no more at this point. Like, what do you expect? So it's like, what do we do with this two-front war that we're facing as young black men? Like, is there an answer to it? Can you even maneuver out of it properly?
Honestly, I don't think you can, bro.
It's
systematic, bro. It's systemic. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, people don't even have to be racist anymore. The system is racist for them. And what I mean by that is, like...
That's very true.
Yeah, like, the justice system is so unfair, so harsh, you know what I'm saying? That's why I salute Meek OD for his reformation, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you see a cop, it's like a second instinct, like, yo, I gotta be on my best behavior. Why do we have to feel like this for a public servant, you know what I'm saying? Why do we have to feel for somebody that's supposed to protect us? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me, you know what I'm saying? And it hurts, like, for my future kids that gotta be born to, like, when I was younger and I used to do dumb shit, of course, my mom used to be like, the dumb shit you doing is not gonna help you out in the future. And I used to be like, I'm just having fun, this is just me, that's what I'm around, this and third. But nowadays it's like, yo, I gotta be really smart, because I have a future, I got stuff I want to do, I got businesses I want to run, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, I really can't give you an answer to how we could maneuver through that, bro. It's hard.
I think it's a mixture of things, you know, like you said, you worded it perfect. It's like, nowadays people don't have to be racist. The government and the system of the government is racist for you. The guidelines is, you know what I mean? A African American man with a black hoodie on at 12 o'clock at night is more likely to get pulled over or stopped and searched than, you know, a Caucasian guy or a young lady, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then at the same time, it's like you got on your black hoodie and it's 12 o'clock and you see another guy that's the same color as you and got on the same thing you got on, you gotta look at him in the eye until you walk past him, because you don't know what his intentions are for you. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I like that. So it's sad because, you know, we definitely do have two oppositions: the so-called authority and ourselves.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, and you know what it is? It's paranoia through history. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot has happened in these neighborhoods where there's a lot going on with gang activity or drug trafficking and stuff like that. So it's like, if we brought up in a neighborhood that's notorious for gang activity and drug trafficking, then cops are gonna automatically believe that the people in that neighborhood are associated with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the systematic of the government. And also, I feel like, you know, alright, so you're born in this neighborhood that's notorious for, you know, drug trafficking and gang violence. So you got the cops that are automatically looking out for you because this is what they believe that you're associated with. On top of that, now you go to a school that's somewhere else, or you're outside anywhere else outside of your neighborhood, and somebody asks you where you from, and you know what I'm saying, you from this place, and they might have beef with somebody from where you from. You probably don't even know him, or you probably just see him, and it's a high and by, like that's not even my. And then sometimes you get caught up in that fire, and now you gotta deal with, you know what I'm saying, with this, because it's so much hatred built up, and that's all it is hatred. You know, the only thing that's as powerful as love is hatred. You know what I'm saying, and hatred drives people to do the madness thing. It's called temporary insanity. You know what I'm saying? When you get that flush of emotion off of something, and it's like anything is possible, because it's like you're not even thinking clearly. You're not thinking about the what's gonna happen, the consequences and nothing. So it's like, so I don't know. It's sad. It's sad that, you know, we gotta, you know, we do have to be on our best behavior, you know,
all the time.
And it's a pro, it's a con, and it's also a pro, because I feel as though it's about that time that us young black men start stepping up to the greatness that we are built for. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that our ancestors have gone through. Like we are all products of surviving ancestors. Which means that our breed of people that survived all the way and brought our bloodline this far were very strong people. Because for them to go through what they've gone through with generations of racism and slavery and everything that they've gone through, and we continue the bloodline, that means that our DNA is strong. That means that we have the power to do whatever we feel that is necessary, you know what I'm saying? And that means that we have the potential to be successful and have power, but also be respectful and be honorable people, because this is in our DNA, you know what I'm saying?
From kings,
it's like we started off as kings and queens, and we went through adversity. That adversity that we went through proved how strong our blood and our DNA really is. Because if it was the other way around, those people will be extinct.
That's a fact.
These people are already afraid for their lives. These people are already afraid for their lives.
And they're already in power.
And they feel like their backs against the wall. You got a gun and a badge, but you gonna pull that trigger because you scared. That's not. There's no. That, you know what I'm saying? There's no irony in that. You know what I'm saying? They are aware of that, and that's the sad part. I feel like they are more aware of our power than we are, because of the things that we've gone through and the experience that we choose to dwell on, instead of thinking the big picture that all the shit that we done been through, we here.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm
You have
saying?
a good point because they're coming from generational wealth. Their parents left them stuff, and when they look at the Jay-Z, they're like, in one lifetime he caught up to me. I'd be scared of those people too.
Exactly.
I'd be scared of those people.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Definitely.
These people they got old money.
That's
you know,
beastie.
they're don't get me wrong, they're smart.
Yeah.
Sustainability. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, somebody come overnight and they from the slums and Marcy projects and they're worth as much as you or possibly more than you, but they definitely have more power in their words than you do and more influence. That's very intimidating. And they know that we're all worthy of reaching that type of power if we are focused and we are determined and we value our life and our future.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
what it all comes down to.
You have to also gain knowledge too, though.
Yeah.
They all have the resources. They all have knowledge. They have the books. To that's why they fear so much because they know what we did in the past. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for us to not know what we did in the past as a unit, if we all came together and had the same cause, the same mindset to keep, intergenerational wealth. You know what I'm saying? I preach that a lot, intergenerational wealth. You know what I'm saying? For the future business people out there who want to open up their own business, it's always good to not just live in the now, make money now. Exactly. And you know what I'm saying? You have to make that money able to
give your kids a head start
you know
too.
What I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Your kids should not start where you started from.
That's a fact. Entrepreneurship is a must, and family business. I highly support family business. Create value in your house, in your home, in your family. You know what I mean? You don't have, like Nipsey Hussle said, all money in. When I was looking in the mirror the other day, and I'm like, all money in, and then I'm like, I get it. He's not necessarily just talking about all money in, even though that's a big part of it. Huge on investment, Nipsey Hussle emphasizes investment.
$1 million life insurance policy on himself.
And he says it in his songs too. He says songs.
That's real though, because it's like all money in. You investment. You know what I mean? If you spend your money and it does not result in an investment, it's technically a waste of money.
Definitely.
It's actually a waste of money if you think about it. If money is coming out of your pocket and that is not contributing to money coming back into your pocket, then you just wasted your money. You know what I'm saying? So all money in is about investing in yourself, creating wealth and value into yourself.
A lot of assets.
And it's also about putting all of your energy and your focus and your determination and your ambition into in your goals. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look, The Game, he said he was rolling down Slauson and one day and he seen a young 20-year-old Nipsey Hussle on a corner, the same corner that he bought 13 years later, 10 years later, and he giving out his own mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And he telling him like, yo, give me a listening ear. Don't frisbee my shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he invested it. He invested his time and energy, and he damn near risked his life standing on that corner just to promote his music. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? Investing in yourself and all money in.
Yeah. And we're gonna wrap it up with does the marathon continue? You could answer that individually and generalize it too.
Okay. Yo.
I like that question.
The marathon continues, man. The marathon won't stop, especially for the people that truly idolize Nipsey Hussle. We know what you stood for. We knew the message that you were trying to portray to us when you were alive, and we're gonna follow through. Like you said in your song, you know what I'm saying? You're going to tell us live our life and grow, so that's what we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? The marathon continue. I just purchased my own money in sweater and my shirt, so hopefully that money goes to his funeral or his family, his kids, whoever. I made my investment in you, Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? The marathon definitely continues. Word.
The marathon's forever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you give a touchdown to your seed, you know what I'm saying? He continues the marathon. Like, the marathon's forever in my eyes. You will never get to the finish line because you're always continuing to work. You could always continue to build, you know what I'm saying? It will never stop at all, ever.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, and especially in the black community, not everybody's going to have the cars, the jewelry, private jets, but I feel that everybody deserves hope and inspiration, and that's what Nipsey has left us. So The marathon gotta continue. We're gonna keep passing the baton on. And like you said, it's not a sprint. We're not gonna get there.
Nope.
Nipsey's career was not like an overnight success.
At all.
Slow grind. It didn't go his way.
It wasn't one hit.
He even wanted to quit at one point, but people kept motivating him and inspiring him to continue because he was an inspiration.
Like,
imagine if he would have quit it at that time, because he had the money at that time, so he was comfortable. But you know what I'm saying, he was not comfortable where his people stand in the hierarchy of what we call the United States.
Like,
the United States,
exactly. Like he said in his song, I forgot what song he said, but he said just make sure that you pass the finish line and after time to take. And that's real talk. You know, a lot of us that actually have ambition, sometimes we tend to condemn ourselves on what we haven't achieved because we have our achievements in our head. You know what I'm saying? We're obsessed with it, so sometimes we feel bad and insecure about not necessarily getting it done. But like he said, make sure you get it done. It don't matter the time you take. You know what I'm saying? Persistence, consistency, and never quitting. So the marathon, you gotta continue.
The marathon continues.
Yes.
This whole thing, we look at life like it's about what you can get from life. And I think, you know, I read something, I was like, that's not what it is. You're going to always be unfulfilled if you look at life like that. It's about knowing you're going to leave one day. And, you know, when you leave, the only way you're going to be fulfilled is if you know you gave everything you had.
Really, though.
And you emptied yourself here. And you left it all here because it's temporary and you got a moment, you know.
Right.
So I think that for me, it's like, I got kids. I got a daughter and a son.
Right.
So, you know, you got to factor in your kids. You can't just all the way commit yourself to your cause.
Right.
You know, you gotta make sure that you're there for your kids. But outside of that, I want to be in this thing until, you know, I'm out of energy, till I don't have nothing left to contribute.